He was mentioned, the Prophet ﷺ is someone who is called the mercy to the world. Rahmatan lil alameen. He was not someone that Quran calls Rahmatan lil Muslimin. Right? He was not someone called Rahmatan lil Nas. Those two titles are not there. But he was called Rahmatan lil alameen. That he is the mercy to the universe or the worlds. Right? Not just the world of human beings, but to the world. And look at the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ and his teachings, where they go. Beyond just this anthropomorphic ideals. He said, there is none amongst the believers who plants a tree or sows a seed, and then a bird or a person or an animal eats thereof. But it is regarded as charity, sadaqah, for that individual. He also mentions, it relates in English, if anyone wrongfully kills even a sparrow, let alone anything greater, he will face God's interrogation, hisab, on that day, for killing someone wrongfully, even a bird. And he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, gave advice to Sa'ad radiallahu anh when he was sitting and he was asking, wasting water perhaps. He mentioned to him, do not waste water. And he said, even for wudu, even for something as holy as performing ritual ablution. And the Prophet ﷺ responded by saying, even if you are by a river, do not waste. Even there's plenty of water. Even if you have plenty of wealth, do not waste. Don't think that buying things will make you happy. It's always been the case that people will make other people happy. It's not the things that make people happy. And the ultimate happiness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, is dhikrullah. The ultimate happiness, that if you're looking for it, it's in the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and not in things. So this is what we understand, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He reminds us by questioning, by reminding us, rhetorically asks, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. How many of the gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the signs, are you going to deny? Are you going to belie? Are you going to just simply reject? These are signs that are placed for humanity to see, for Muslims to wake up. We have a book of God. A book of God and a messenger who exemplifies for humanity guidance, rahmah, mercy. But if we Muslims accept our position just inside the masjid as people who are imams in leading the salah, then we will never be imams of humanity, leaders of people, leaders in not an understanding of declaring all these concepts that are people outside you were saying, but rather leader is a server, leader is a servant. And that's how that type of leadership that we're looking for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions to the angels, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. And we understand وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا لِلْأَنَامِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this earth, not just for human beings, but لِلْأَنَامِ, that He mentions for all of living organisms and species. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the ability to think and reflect and to synthesize the knowledge that we understand with our environment, with our people and society and community, and to make us amongst those people that are people of Allah, that whatever we do, we indeed enter into this ubudiyya of Allah, this worship of Allah, with the concept of ihsan. The final conclusion that I want to make, inshallah, how can I help? When we hear these topics that are really too scientific for us, too outgoing, far outreaching for us to understand, how can I help? I say the 5 things. Number 1, reduce waste. Drop this waste culture, disposable way of living life. You eat once and you throw it out. This is not the way of the Prophet and the early community. They never wasted things, they utilized things. Number 2, refuse overconsumption. Don't become this person when he watches a commercial, he hears about things, I gotta go out and get that thing. This is not the way of our life. These are not the goals that we should be living. Even when it comes to wudu, the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned to them, be careful, because you will be asked about it. Number 3, refuse this disposable culture. It's not the sunnah. The big gas guzzlers that people drive. the land that they vie one another. Number 4, recycle. People think of these as secular concepts. Muslims do things for the sake of Allah. And then when you do that, that secular concept becomes sacred. That concept becomes sacred indeed. Why? Because it's for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have given the idea of the intention. One person cuts open and the other person cuts open another being. One saves life, the other one commits a murder. So we have to be open, inshallah, and be educated. Be people of education. Be people of knowledge. Don't think that knowledge ends with your bachelor's degree. Don't think that what you have learned is sufficient and you could just be on cruise control. And so we are reminded of Iqra bismi rabbik. So when we do that, our community, not just individuals, will be uplifted as a whole. That we become people who have the leadership as moral leadership of humanity. رَبَّنَا أَتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. اللهم